What's up, everybody? I'm Peter Kim.
Hi, I'm Unji Kim.
And we are two Kims.
One pod.
One pod. Thank you so much for coming back. It is episode 101. I cannot believe
101.
it. We've gone past the 100th episode of the rebranding of this podcast. I know we lost a lot of people from Ajuma Show to Two Kims One Pod because a lot of people loved Ajuma Show and what we were doing there. Two Kims One Pod became more of like Unji and I really just coming together as friends and comedians, chit-chatting and talking about our lives, etc. So we appreciate that you got a lot of you guys tuned in for the 100th episode, so we thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for the new Patreons. We love you, love you, love you. We actually just filmed one, a very vulnerable one, so go check that out if you're a Patreon, and it's a long one too, so enjoy. Okay, so it is the eve of inauguration as we record this.
It's so
How are you
crazy.
feeling? I'm just doing I want to do like a mental health check-in. How are we doing? Are we okay? Do we need help? Do I need to call 611?
I mean, the TikTok ban and
Can we start there?
yeah, the TikTok
How did
ban.
you feel about that?
The TikTok ban and like truly there for me anyway, I didn't believe it was going to happen.
Zero belief. that
Zero
it was gonna
belief.
happen.
And so when I
The
did
boy who cried wolf.
absolutely. I know our country. Like no
We are a bunch of capitalist
Yes.
pigs, honey. 170 million eyeballs glued to the app.
I mean,
bitch, you
creators
crazy?
making money, businesses making money, like TikTok. I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like,
What are you even saying?
you think that lady who's making candles and that you're in the TikTok? Like, no, of course, it's gonna stick around. I know this country, so I didn't think anything of it. But when I did log on and I couldn't, when that screen popped up
when
that
it said it was a ban.
it was banned and that
Yeah.
President Trump is going to, and I was like, oof, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
There was that moment where it's like, oh, I can't touch that.
I can't believe they called him not elect.
No.
They said President Trump is going to be fixing all of this here, honey. And I said, why is that fucking disgusting name on my beautiful app?
Truly.
That's when I knew it was over. I was like, oh, TikTok's gone. We might not have lost TikTok, but TikTok is gone.
You think it's
you
done?
heard it here. Do I think it's done? Have you logged back in?
Yeah. I'm here.
Did you get your same algo?
Yes.
I'm not getting my algo.
You have a different algo?
It's not different. It's like slightly... Something's off.
The sauce is not the same?
And maybe I'm conspiratorial, and you know I do.
Mm-hmm.
Go into that zone.
And I
don't... It doesn't feel the same. It does not feel the same. It feels Zuckerbergian. It feels meta. Yep.
wow.
I don't like it. I don't like the way it's scrolling up. It feels it feels real spooky.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't like it.
That's
Whatever that
crazy.
is, that's not TikTok. That's Big Bok. That's a ghost. Okay?
Big Bok.
Boo.
Boo.
Bitch. Bite.
Bye.
Dance your way out of here.
Oh, no.
This town is footloose. No dancing.
No.
I don't like it. It's a ghost. It's an apparition of what it used to be.
In the 12 hours?
A facsimile.
In the 12 hours, it was gone.
You know what they're
When
saying?
it was... What
a
are they
server
saying?
transfer.
It was what?
A server transfer. And you know Trump is saying that they're going to propose like a 50% ownership, the government ownership
Sure.
of an app.
Government ownership?
Yes. Of the most popular social media app.
Okay.
This is a fascist propaganda machine. It's completely becoming X. Like it is becoming they ruin everything. Tech bros ruin everything. Bring back
Truly.
the jock bros, okay? At least they just ruined my butt. Like no, Tech
I love
bros
their-
were so.
Oh my God. I love Jock Jams. Yeah.
I love Jock Jams. Pump it up. Tech bros have been so humiliated and we're penis shamed that they are coming for our they're turning America into Russia.
They're coming for my algorithm. They're coming for my recipes.
The algorithm is not the same.
They're coming for my
Okay.
recipes. They're coming for my get ready with me. They're coming for me.
They're coming for all of us.
You think in the
You know
12
what they-
hours that like this really happened?
Yeah, and I think Zuckerberg's behind all of this. I really do. And for Trump to come back and be like, I saved the
Mhm. To be the savior of it all is really nuts.
and now for us to be like indebted to him somehow sociologically / our financial wherewithals are controlled by a fascist government. Like it's just a little too much. But it is Inauguration Eve, so I just want to. So how am I doing? Not good. Not well.
I mean, the fact that all of this, like the TikTok like ban and then re-up and apparently
The rescue.
and I guess like because I mean it's like you're talking about like a fecal transplant. Like this is like the new shit is inside of this anew.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like so there's new shit being produced.
This is a metaphorical docking of
Yes.
two
I mean, like I didn't.
two nerd cocks.
I didn't. And so like, and the fact that he's coming, it is very much like what is it? The Carter, like when the the hostages got released, but they didn't refuse to release them until Reagan got sworn in. So the hostages got released on Reagan's thing.
Mhm.
So like that absolutely is a thing.
Yes.
And you know, on
That's
the eve of it,
exactly this.
yes. So on the eve of this, like seeing and feeling all of it, I will say that I am. I think that there's part of me that I'm not engaging with what feels like could
Inevitable?
happen. Yeah.
Why? Because you don't want to go there?
I don't want to go to there. No.
No.
Not until
Well,
it's there.
Well, let me tell you, I've gone there.
You went
and
there?
I've come back all the way back, and I'm going back. Because this is the... I don't think we can turn away from this. Meaning, this has been prophesized.
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 Who prophets?
Like, I have a conspiracy theory, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I've been doing some ChatGPT work with the Book of Revelations and what's been happening right now.
Peter.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay.
My theory
Okay.
is that whoever the Illuminati, deep state,
Sure.
whatever, powers
Mhm.
that be, secret, occult, whatever.
Right. The
those
stonecutters.
people,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, are actively trying to make revelations happen.
Okay.
They are taking the greatest story ever told,
Mm-hmm.
and they are making sure it comes true.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about this ChatGPT work that you're doing?
Yes. I am asking it to act like a comparative theology professor
Okay.
and map over Revelation / like other like end of times apocalyptic prophesized type of work from the past
Sure.
and map it over to what's happening now
Okay.
in relation to drones in the sky, orbs, a tech billionaire oligarchy forming.
So
AI,
you're
the
feeding it
advancement of
this.
AI.
You're feeding the specific news stories that you want the ChatGPT to assess.
Well, I'm feeding everything right now that is harmful to humanity,
Okay.
which is AI,
Okay.
unfettered capitalism,
Sure.
possible aliens
Okay.
/ UAPs that we're just not addressing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Et cetera, et cetera. So
Sure.
like I'm telling like it what all these things are happening, the mass homelessness, the income disparity in the world, water
you're telling
running
it's
out,
yes. You're telling
climate,
it's yes. Your
et cetera.
fears, your anxieties, right? Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, and the general public,
Sure.
I would say.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just me personally. I'm not talking about spiders. Like, I'm talking about like it in macro lens.
Sure.
Like what's happening. Drying up
but you're
of
not
the
talking about
oceans,
spiders at all.
Dying
Okay.
of things. No,
Yeah.
you know, like I don't want it to taint to a personal thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it, you know, big picture.
Sure.
Anyway, so that's the work I've been doing. with
And the
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is saying what? That
You want me to tell you?
that the fundamentalist Christians are trying to bring about end of days.
I think they're not bringing about their. I think they're. No. It didn't say that. That's my conspiracy. What ChatGPT said. Oh, by the way, happy ceasefire,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yeah, sure. What's ChatGPT got to say about that?
I haven't fed that experience yet.
I mean, like everything
Okay,
happening in the
so-
Middle East.
I said, based on a synthesis of biblical prophecy, historical cycles, and contemporary global trends. Oh, no, this is what it says. The next. No, that's sorry. I went further about like the idea of Jesus coming back. Who would this be? How would we cast them? What would they look like? Can you do a predictive analysis of where they might be coming from? / is it an alien? I went really deep.
Okay. Deep or like not deep, but out there.
Out there.
Yeah.
So he said ChatGPT says if we map the symbolic roles, if we map the symbolic roles of the revelation to contemporary figures in the news, we can begin to see parallels with individuals or movements that either embody the darker controlling forces or stand for the values that resist those forces. Here's an attempt to align modern figures with these roles. AI as the beast or false prophet.
Okay. Sure.
AI is calling itself that.
Yes. Right.
Tech giants Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai. These figures, leaders of major tech companies, represent the global reach of AI. Surveillance technology is the data-driven control. They are often at the center of debates about privacy, ethical tech issue, and the power of tech companies. There hasn't been by the way, did you know, this was a staggering thing I heard this week. There has not, the last legislation on tech / internet companies,
Yes.
guess what year it was? The last legislation passed to safeguard internet / tech companies. I'll give you a clue. We were freshmen in high school.
Yeah, I was going to say 1996.
96.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like, it was phone stuff.
Their companies' influence over how we interact with information, social media, even our personal lives can parallel the role of the beast or false prophet, manipulating public opinion and behavior through algorithms, information control, and monetization of personal data. And then
where does Peter Kim
the
come
mark
in?
of the beast,
Okay,
facial recognition and biometric systems.
Okay.
These technologies, which are increasingly used by governments and private corporations around the world, can be seen as mark of the beast. People are often required to participate in these systems for access to services or basic freedoms, marking them as compliant members of a global surveillance network that limits personal autonomy and privacy. Okay?
Okay.
And then I said, what about resistance figures of Jesus?
Okay.
They didn't have much.
Sure.
They said Malala, Bernie Sanders, Oprah Winfrey, Angela Davis,
Peter, come on.
AOC,
Peter.
Banksy, Pope John Paul II, Colin Kaepernick, Desmond Tutu, or Jane Goodall, the monkey bitch. Now, this is the foremost, and I'm on ChatGPT 5.0, and this is what it's giving me. This is how little even AI believes that a savior is close.
Okay.
Okay? This is how sickening it is. While it can map over all the evil parts of
what's happening, because that's
Revelations.
that's what it's focusing on. That's what a lot of this is about.
I also asked for the Jesus figure.
But I mean, like, if you're highlighting, I mean, the thing about like all this sort of doomsday stuff and why it historically has always captured the imagination of it, like those are the hits, right?
Well, the hits keep coming because let me tell you, as power consolidates and data consolidates, we all think about like, oh, the dangers of China, like we're already there.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
of course.
the fact that Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, Jeff Bezos,
Yes.
Bill Gates,
Yes.
they're all going to be at the inaugural ball.
Mm-hmm.
They've all paid
yes,
for the inauguration.
Absolutely. I mean, tech has absolutely pivoted into
Right wing.
yes, and it's
Because
been
they see
happening.
there's money in it.
And it's in order to ward off any sort of regulation that may occur, right? And Biden was very sort of antagonistic to the tech industry in that way. But I will say this is the part where AI gets a little murky, because the things that AI cannot fathom or understand is the way that you feel right now, why you're even asking ChatGPT these questions.
Okay.
Right? Like when we talk about, when you're asking about like, well then who's the Jesus? Right? ChatGPT cannot understand the human spirit or how.
Why does it need to?
Because that's
it's just mapping over our narrative story.
But because ultimately, like the story of the Bible, Peter, even with Jesus, is that like not just only in this idea that like of the Savior, but faith itself and like how we worship, like that's sort of the magic of it. Like ultimately, most Christianity is like the power belongs to people that believe, the movement itself. So it's hard.
No, I understand all that. I agree with that. But my
like,
point is, it's doing
that.
It doesn't matter. I'm asking it to make a narrative mapping.
But
you
how
know what I
could
mean?
but like it,
based on like what's happening today.
But Jesus is not
That's
like
my
supposed
point.
to, right? But Jesus is never. I mean, I guess maybe in my mind, like less literally, Jesus or that sort of savior is always. It was never going to be encompassed in one person, just the way that the evil is not encompassed by one person. It's always this like multitude of this army of darkness and all that. But just as much as all of that, there are like these singular figureheads that kind of pop up. But Jesus himself, or itself, I guess in my mind always was less like a titular figurehead, but more sort of the magic of all of us being
like
able
a
to
metaphor.
yeah, for all of us.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's not what I asked GPT to do. I asked it for a very specific narrative exercise.
Yes.
And it brought back Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
So that's my point.
Yeah.
Is that no one there's not a person that exists. Who's the closest person there? Bernie Sanders? Like who's the one who's like working for the poor? You know what I mean? Like hanging out with the lepers.
Sure.
Like there's not really that like at least figurehead, like the Gandhi like figure.
Sure.
We don't really have that. That's not really like, I don't know. Why don't we have that?
Because we don't live in a culture that celebrates that stuff. I mean, like your friend,
they didn't celebrate that during Gandhi's time.
Yeah, but it was also like he was leading a resistance movement,
or like MLK's time.
Sure, but he was leading a resistance movement. I guess. Like, do you want to talk about people that are heading, like, I mean,
what is the resistance movement? I don't even know what that is.
You know?
I don't even know what that means.
Like,
Snowden, maybe? You know, like whistleblowers,
Whistleblowers, sure.
people
mean,
who
like-
are anti or pro privacy or like regulation of data companies or internet
Yeah.
companies. You know, we talked about like why I left tech and all that. So like it's very interesting to come back around now, and it's just a frustrating exercise that I'm doing with ChatGPT because I'm going, okay, you know, tell me a story. If these are the characters that exist today in 2025, this is the paint me a story here, and I'm not happy.
You're concerned that there's no one coming.
Someone needs to step up, or someone's needs to step up. You know what I mean? Like it's really, I'm not happy, is what it comes down to. It's pre-inauguration. I'm pissed off.
Yeah, you're like really.
You know what I'm also pissed off about is fucking Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg has been vocally anti-Trump for so long, calling him a fucking phony and a loser.
For sure.
And now he's going back and fucking licking that boot. Why? What do you think it is?
I mean, I think that there is the part that really worries me, and I absolutely understand your trepidation here, Peter. The fact that like this time around, it feels like people are more likely to kiss the ring, right? That there's like this cultural
100%.
this cultural moment where everyone's like, well, I mean, everybody does like him, right? And you know, how can 50% of the world, 50% of the nation be wrong? Yes, absolutely. But people are like, it's just like he's done an incredible job at normalizing himself.
No, but what I get that, but like, what's going on with Snoop Dogg? Is
He's
it just money?
capitalist. Yeah.
I don't think it. I don't think so.
You
'Cause
think
I don't think. I don't think that he's getting paid that much. You know what I think?
what?
He's looking for a pardon.
From what?
Diddy, bitch. Diddy.
And it comes back around.
Double D-Y,
and it comes
honey.
back around. And again,
That's
and another one.
Why would
Yeah.
someone do that?
You think that it's looking for a presidential?
100%. He's looking to be Lil Wayne, my friend. He's about to put on that MAGA hat and go, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I just
it's
I
gonna
can't-
be nasty because you know what? It's breaking. You know that trial's coming up
Yes.
in May,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that Southern District.
Yes. I
Okay,
mean, the
so
SDNY, like really, I don't know how you do
SDN
this.
They got the resources.
They got the resources.
SDNY is going to put on a show in May,
Mm-hmm.
and this is going to be the trial of the century, and it's going to take down and take out so many false idols.
Wow. You're in it right now with this.
It's end times, baby. I'm
What
bringing
happened?
back what I know.
What happened to you? What happened?
I think I'm just
fires?
realizing that the fires. It's really smoky over here.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, like just like that, like the sort of physical reality of that danger, and like it is sort of
And Trump and
yes. I mean, it's biblical.
the consolidation of power. And
Yes,
data,
absolutely,
all
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And it is. And
Yes.
when we say it's biblical, it means things are on a scale
Absolutely.
that is absolutely terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going back to the source code,
Okay.
you know. I mean, the fact that, like, going back to ceasefire too, like
Mhm.
all of these wars,
Yes.
not all of them, but like at least the Middle East wars,
Mm-hmm.
are really infighting over one God,
Right. Yeah.
which is the cuckoo-cachooiest of it all,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the fact that we are like completely becoming Russia and China before our eyes is, it's just like, I knew I would live to see the end of times, and it might not be the end of the world, but it is the
Sure.
end of our time. Like this age of whatever this last age of we're calling it, it is the end of it.
Okay.
Like this is, I believe,
Yeah.
and not in such a like cynical way. I just see it. Like, how
Yeah.
could you not look outside? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not see that things are coming to an end. At least this era of things. You know, all empires must fall. So it is America's time, and we're writing this out. And it's going to become like super fascist, super fast. They're already talking about raids in Chicago, the immigration raids.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a show of force and power. And a lot of families are going to get fucked because of this. And, you know, it's a truly a scary time. And I'm here to play the only game left. Money.
I was like a 3-card Monty. Like, what do you mean? Like money? Okay.
Well, 3-card Monty.
Yeah.
Scamming and scheming. So, you know, yeah, that's kind of the only thing that's giving me a little bit of like silver lining. Is
Sure.
that like I'm gonna get rich.
I mean, like, surely, like, this is like the darkest shit. I mean, what the fuck? Like, I mean, like, going on.
I'm gonna get stinking rich.
I mean, at least with regard to the Trump of it all, like, you know, I am a relatively pessimistic person. I will say, having listened to some conservative thought recently, and if anyone has listened to the most recent Daily, it was a long form interview with this guy who has become sort of like a bit of a celebrity among tech bros for his thinking around a strong leader.
Man.
Yes, as CEO of the country. And the part about this conversation that really was driving me nuts is that this is not new, right? Like, all he's basically saying is that, like, the country is always usually well run when it has a strong leader that can make unilateral decisions. And it's like, yeah, but he's layering it on top of tech jargon. He's saying that it's America in its most successful and prosperous was always run like a startup, right? And he's using these terms in order to engage tech bros and for them to be like, yeah, it's totally true. And creating historical context that is not accurate. And the fact that all these tech bros are just like, yeah, dude, like, you're right. Like, we do need to just like, oh my God, like, treat it like I'm just going to have to fire. Like, that's the thing is, like, you can't fire Americans. That's like you can't literally. The thing about this is the same, and the fact that he really thinks he's doing a thing to say the country is run well when we have a strong leader. No fucking shit. Like, the fact that he always talks about, like, he's trying to be like, oh, liberals with FDR. FDR was basically ruled like a monarch. This is his like thing that America now needs to become a monarchy. And the way that these tech bros are like buying in and being like, yeah, like, I'm a tech bro, but what if I was a tech king? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, the only kings that are available right now in culture are short. And so, like, you can't be out here. Like, I don't understand why no one is able to apply this sort of critical thinking and map it into another way. Like, just as you are creating a narrative, like mapping and applying creativity to this and critical thinking, like, I don't understand why people are being so...
They can't do it.
And they're so susceptible. This is the part that makes me feel scared.
Tech bros are just today's version of, you know, finance bros. It's just like the next iteration, which basically just means they're willing to be bullied and then thus turn around and bully. That's really what broism is like, be strong and let me hit you so that you can be strong and you can hit others, and they could be strong and they could hit others. That's kind of like that's like masculinity in a nutshell.
Yes, it's absolutely like it's very much Hyung culture.
It's young culture.
Yes, and absolutely. I think that there's something I always notice, at least within once tech bros started to emerge. Because, we were at the outset where it was truly like do no evil sort of Google shit, where the internet was going
I was a tech sis.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was you were Texas Instrument. I was a Texas Instrument as well. Like, I'm saying that.
I was TI-85.
I was 85, 83, like 82, all of them. But it was saying that I remember when tech was like punk. Right, it was absolutely a part of the avant-garde philosophically. That it was the idea that it would create an egalitarian society, and we'd all be like logged into the fucking matrix and shit. You know what I mean? And then this is what happens.
Starts with a good idea,
but that's the thing. It's like even all of the punk dudes I knew, they all also became like. Something happened with punk guys like in the early aughts, and if you're listening, like let me know if you agree. But for me, all the punk guys I knew or any of the tech bros, they all either became became super capitalist, right? Like, I'm just going to like, there is no meaning, so let's just get rich, right? Exactly what you're talking about.
That's where I am.
Yes,
that's where I am.
Or they all got into a hardcore rap. Like it was, it was like truly.
I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Like it was truly like the two.
They had to put their aggression somewhere. I'm trying to put it in finance. Yeah,
and it was this like the same aggro part of it, because when you do reach a threshold or you plateau, at least with any business, right? This is the conceit, and this is ultimately the hubris of every single tech startup founder, of every punk person, is that when you plateau, there is another philosophical question you must ask yourself, especially if you're living in like sort of in this existential, like, asking yourself all these questions about the meaning of shit. It's like, well, yeah. And that's the part where I'm like, with these tech bros, when you're talking about the aggression, to me, it's like they've been in power long enough where they have grudges. Like Peter Thiel to me is maybe the scariest person
100%
alive.
Yeah. I could have been Peter Thiel if I stayed in tech.
That's so scary.
Like, if I didn't
Absolutely.
chase my dreams,
Yes.
I would have become Peter Thiel.
Yes.
Peter Kim Thiel.
Peter Tim Thiel. I mean, like, truly, like.
But I found myself, and I, worked on myself, and I'm not Peter Thiel, but Peter Thiel is scary. And not just because he's a billionaire, because he's a self-hating gay.
Yes.
And he wants to see, he's kind of like Steve Bannon, where like he wants to see things burn.
He wants to see your personal downfall.
He feels like it. He seems like it.
He wants to see you personally.
He's petty spaghetti.
Yes, petty spaghetti.
There's nothing worse than a spurned faggot. Let me tell you, honey.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you right now. Okay?
Oh my God.
They will ruin. Look at P. Diddy. Anyway.
It's true.
See, we can still laugh. We can still laugh, folks. This is the type of comedy we're bringing you.
I mean, like, just.
All right, let's move on. We got to move on from this because it's too depressing. What are you looking forward to in the next year? Like, what do you have? It's a new year. It's Trump 2.0, sure, but we went through Trump 1.0 with mixed reviews. Okay? I'm going to do 2.0 different, I think.
What do you think you can do different?
I'm going to get rich.
You can get rich. You were trying to get rich before?
I think I was in Trump 1.0. I really think I was trying to prove I belong here. Like,
I see.
Quotes.
Yeah.
Wherever here was. Not a geological locale, but industry-wise.
Okay.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling my friend this the other day. It feels so good to not feel the need to prove myself.
Right.
Like, I'm past that now. Now I'm here to make money. Like, I know what I do.
Sure.
and I know what I don't do. I think Trump 1.0, I really spent figuring out, what I do well, what I don't do. I was like trying on a lot of things,
Okay.
and saying yes to everything, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like taking every gig, staying busy,
Right.
the grind, the motherfucking grind,
Yeah.
it felt very that. And 2.0, I'm trying to be a little, and I think it's because I'm way older too, like a little more focused about where I put my grind. Not so much of a scatter shot, but more of a
Right.
laser.
Oh, I like that.
I was doing like scatter. I was doing shotgun pellets.
Absolutely.
During 1.0.
Yes,
I was
you
like,
were Dick Cheney.
let me hit anything.
Yeah, you were Dick Cheneying his best friend, right?
And his best friend was the industry.
Never forget. When Dick
Never
Cheney-
fucking forget Dick Cheney, who was a Kamala supporter at the end of the day.
Yes.
What, like, you know what I mean? Like, where do we live? I need a savior. I need Jesus.
I mean, up
we
is
all
down,
need
down is
Jesus.
up. Like truly. I mean,
I don't know what's happening.
I think maybe it's because I already did some of this grieving, and when I did all the documentary watching of the conservative movement before the election, and Lee Atwater, who was like basically the campaign manager for Bush #2, like responsible for the a lot of the sort of dog whistling that is very commonplace in the Republican Party now around race and class. He's responsible for all of it. And at the end of his life, he got a brain tumor. His entire body and face blew up like 3 or 4 times. When I tell you that in this documentary, everyone is basically saying that like God was smoting him.
No.
And that he, at the end of his life, found God. And
No.
found God.
Is that what's happening to Mitch McConnell?
Found God. Hold on. Found God, went around, apologized to everybody, said that he had been wrong, all that stuff.
No.
And then when he dies, one of the last interviews is with this guy who's like, I don't know about Lee having found God or whatever. This is classic Lee. I went into his like personal belongings, and his Bible that he had been carrying around never opened.
A sham.
Was
a sham
it?
and a huckster.
Was it? You know what I mean? It's like it is to me like the way that politics now, and like we're talking about like up is down, down is up. It's like, yeah, Cheney. It's like the way that with Snoop Dogg, everyone is trying to. It is sport. It's sport, right?
Yeah,
so
sport.
who is the bandwagon now, right?
I'm in the chess club, bitch. Like, I'm not playing. That's what I need. That's why I need money. Is
Right.
why I'm saying, like, Dick Cheney can choose sides, flip-flop. Snoop Dogg is flip-flopping. He's got money to align towards.
Sure.
I'm in the stands watching. I'm not even playing the game. Is
I
what
don't
I'm
even have
saying.
enough money to buy a hot dog. I'm just trying.
That's what I mean. Like, I need to ante up, and I don't have the minimum amount. And that's what, and I'm talking about metaphorical. Like, I'm not in a place to play.
Right.
And damn it, if this late stage capitalism is turning into oligarchy, I'm playing.
yeah.
I'm pulling a lotto ticket. So anyway, that's what I feel about 2025. It's go time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means with Hollywood being where it is.
For sure.
It feels very like, what? What are we even doing? How am I going to make any money?
Yeah.
And with the fires and to all the people, by the way, if you have been affected by the fire, even if you haven't been affected, if you know people, it's devastating. I don't even know if I should be outside without a mask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's really saying. They're like, AQI is okay, but AQI is not reliable for micropollutants and da. Listen, honey, if there wasn't a clearer sign from the universe to GTFO,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Surely.
The only thing that can keep me here is if Kim Spa gets ordered.
Right.
That's really it. And that's because there's no market anymore for me to pitch. Like, at least right now, like, people have lost their homes. Like, we're not going to be like, hi, I got a fun show for you. Are you looking at half-hour comedy? You know, like, and that's my bread and butter. And if that doesn't happen, like, I'm not a touring comedian. Like, you know, like, I tour, but I don't tour enough to make a living. Like,
yeah.
So a bitch is going to have to figure it out. And all right. I'll be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'll be vulnerable. How about this?
I mean, like,
okay, going back to like 2025, I want to make money to play in this game, whatever this late stage Trumpian republic is going to be.
For sure.
What's something? What? How are you approaching? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a
with 2025?
Yeah,
truly,
mantra,
like
anything you can share with us?
I mean, do you want me to read an email from my agent?
Please, I would love.
I mean, I guess in my mind, it is really, it's funny because like I feel I'm very, very parallel to you with like, I don't feel like I need to prove myself anymore. I do feel like I've hit a stride with like kind of what I'm doing and how I'm able to do it. I will say that I find myself coming up against, I didn't realize, like, it's not that I have scruples. God forgive. I don't have scruples. No, I don't know who's saying that, but I don't have scruples. But I am, there's, at least with this Trump 2.0 stuff happening, I do find myself being like a little more aware of where money is coming from. And it's not that I would say no to it.
Say more. Like,
it's just like
gigs?
Gigs and not even like, it's just, gigs and just like other, some like in projects and shit like where I'm like, I don't know if I'm just clocking it. I'm never going to say no. I will, I absolutely have no scruples. Absolutely. Like,
like you're saying that when you get a gig, you're like diving deep into where the pocket is coming from?
Not if I get a gig. I will say that since I've been getting some, like, when I see some like auditions and stuff coming through, I do find myself doing a bit more due diligence.
Research.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Then
because you're worried that it might be coming from the Mel Gibson fund, or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, like, okay, this is like a Scientology project.
But I'm like, and also it's the Peter Thiel of it all. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of money going into Hollywood right now that is from non-traditional avenues. And it's not that I would ever turn it down. It's just more I find myself clocking it. And that's it.
And then that's it?
That's
You're clocking it, and then what?
And
Why are you clocking it? For what?
Because I love to feel morally compromised. So, like,
I see. Okay. So you want to feel bad while on set.
On set. It's just,
Do you wish to get to a point where you can do the research and then say, not this one?
I don't
hey,
see
team, not this one. I don't like the...
Again, I don't have scruples. I don't see myself ever being like that, principled.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know that I could bring you on to my capitalist journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not foresee that ever happening. But I am just like clocking stuff. Just, you know what I mean? There's just like, there is just a new influx of money.
I literally never look. How do you know? Like, you look at the producers?
like the production company, just like seeing other stuff that they've done.
I literally never look. I look at the writer and I look at
Yeah.
the director.
Yeah,
and the other
just
actors.
I've been doing a little bit of this.
Interesting.
And
okay.
yeah, it's just more, some of it's just like good to know, like tonally kind of what the project might require, but I'm also clocking where money is coming from.
Okay.
It is
all right.
again
a little more aware.
A little more.
In 2025.
My eyes are open.
Okay.
I am aware, and yeah, I think maybe you're saying stuff out loud. I think that for me moving forward, I am also living out loud, but I am I don't know. I like all this manifestation stuff. Like I've been doing some of this work,
Can you tell us about it?
I think writing, meditating, like I've been doing some of this in the last 5 days. And I mean, you do this all the time, right? Like you're.
Can I show you? Hold on. I have to show you a visual thing.
Yeah. This is really good podcasting. But I have been writing a lot and trying to manifest. It is sometimes a little embarrassing, but I am trying to be cool. I'm trying to be more chill with, my actual dreams.
Chill with your actual dreams.
Yeah. Like less anxious about it, less like, this is like, like sometimes you're like really precious about it. At least like when I've ever done it before, it felt like very divorced from reality even. And I feel like in the last week, I don't think my dreams or what I've been saying out loud is any different, but I do feel it's less like a dream, and I'm talking about it like a goal.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it feels more real.
Yeah. So it's like I have less of this sort of magical thinking around it, and it feels a lot more like practiced and concrete. Like David Lynch just passed away, like a really important cultural figure to me, and he was a big transcendental guy, and I think he always talked about work and dreams in one breath. Right? Like your dream is your work. You work to achieve your dream, and it's not just something that you say out loud and you are that feels magical, because ultimately it is just something you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not out of your reach.
It's not out of your reach.
That's why I have been doing this.
Oh my God.
And I've been putting this for the audio people. I wrote out Kim Spa on NBC with like color pencil, and I just been putting it on the table, and I just walk by and I just keep seeing it, and I don't know. There's something about that. It's like the forced visualization
for sure
of like, oh yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. But yeah, that's great. I love that.
But it's because you're also way more witchy than I am. Like you are a witch. Like, like you are very.
You have called me a lot of different names. Yeah.
But no, I mean, like you're like, there's like a magical sort of like otherworldly, like you're tapped into that way more. Than
I don't know about
am.
way more. I don't know about way more.
You like,
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? You are like pretty like I don't know, like sensitive, like that.
I guess so.
Like I would say that I feel like I'm pretty sensitive like that too. Like I've certainly had like premonitions, and I've had like inklings of things, and that have often felt that have often come true, and like I have very serious like almost like overwhelming feelings of deja vu that occur. But I think you have it way more than me.
I don't know. I think I tend to like obsess more, I think. And not than you, but than the average person. Yeah. And I tend to like see. Like I see it.
Yeah.
In my mind's eye. Like I see what it looks like. I see the steps into it.
For sure.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like a very exciting. It's not more. It's, I think maybe at this age, at least with goals and the new year, it especially being. I don't know if we've talked about the fact that it's the year of the snake, which is like that of transformation and renewal. And it is sort of strangely enough.
Like shedding of skin?
Shedding of skin, literally. So absolutely the fact that we've been talking about this even before, like you were saying exactly this in the last 2 episodes before the end of the year.
The shedding of skin?
The shedding of skin, the fact that you felt this like sort of transformative time coming up.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So it feels very fortuitous, and
maybe. I hope it is. I really do, because I would love to wonder if my air is safe every single day of my life. But, you know, snarky jokes aside, a dream of mine, you know, okay, let's really go there. I grew up on TV.
Right.
We all did. Latchkey kids. TV raised us. TV gave us comfort. Especially as a single parented kid, a lot of times we were alone, even through like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., all the way up to like 10, 11 p.m.
Of course,
so like a lot of my time being like assuaged emotionally or mentally was the hum of NBC's Thursday night.
The way
that kidding me?
The way that I feel about even our wood paneled Zenith, which by the way never broke.
The Zenith.
The wood paneled Zenith, by the way, it never broke. We had to give up on it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
We let him down. You know what I mean? Like it never let us down.
Just the meme of you and the Zenith. Zenith's like, I can't quit you.
But it never broke. It literally never broke. It did not die. We had to abandon it. You know what I mean?
Trusted friend.
Trusted friend. I mean, and it was huge, but it never broke. The way that it and the way that some that's the thing that feels bad about technology now, is that you cannot there's no personality to it anymore. You know what I mean? It's like this Zenith and my Zenith, like there was like a hum to it. You knew like the grooves of like the keypad, like all of it, like the numbers and the channels that you use the most would be the most worn down.
Sure. Yeah. That's back when TVs had things to press on them.
Yeah.
Like TVs right now are just like, it's just a square on a wall. It's like hiding as a painting.
I mean, it's truly, it's truly like, to me, like TVs now and all these things, it feels like even like how girls look like on Instagram. Like everyone is like the same hot and everything's sleek and shiny. But like, give me a Zenith, like give me a snaggletooth, like give me something with a little personality. I want to know which button to push.
That's actually interesting. Like, you know, like really rich people have their TVs like going in and out of their beds and stuff.
Right.
You know, like they have stuff like that. But like, it'd be interesting to like take a TV, like a normal ass Samsung or LG TV, Korean represent, and like do a service where like, you know how like sometimes they do like Louis Vuitton collabs and then they like paint on the bags.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, it's art. Like it's something like that.
Candice Bergen does it.
Yeah. So like that'd be cool for TVs. But anyway, going back to TV raising me, you know, must-see TV Friends, Frasier, All About You, Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
These were the shows that kept
Mad About
me-
You. Mad About You. Yeah.
Mad About You.
Yeah.
These are the shows, the Thursday night NBC shows were the only shows that really made sense to me. None of the other networks made sense. It was like exactly the type of multicam sitcom laugh track type of hug
Mm-hmm.
that I needed as a teenager, wondering where my mom was, you know?
Right.
Because she's like out with her friends drinking,
Mhm,
and I'm
mhm.
like watching my brother, and it's like 9:30 p.m. and she's
Right,
still
right.
at home. You know, it
Yeah.
was because of Friends and Frasier
Mm-hmm.
that I was able to get lost and not know exactly what time it is, and my mom's still not home.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
escape.
Mm-hmm.
And to fully circle back to Kim Spa on NBC, it's to live that multicam dream as a now performer, as a comedy performer who loves live performing, and to do it in a world that I created and the set that I visualized and the costumes that I picked out
Mm-hmm.
and the cast that I cast and the writers that I hired. There's no bigger dream. There's no fuller circle.
No, there isn't.
I think I would really be healed of a lot of immigrant kid, latchkey kid trauma to be able to, and this is the corniest part of it, so fast forward if you want, is to give some like kid that's like really going through some fucked up shit
Mm-hmm.
who could turn on a TV on Channel 4 and see my show and forget what time it is. I think that would
Yeah.
heal a lot of trauma for me.
So you wouldn't
Like,
need to go to a therapist.
spiritually.
Yeah, you would need to go to a therapist
I'll
that
cancel
spoke
on
Korean.
Esther Kim.
Okay,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to do that. You could just.
No, I'll need 3 more therapists. But, you know, there's something like cosmically healing about that. Like where, yeah, it's not, TV's not just like, especially like live TV airing at 8 p.m. Like that's not just TV. It's like, it's your babysitter. It's
Yes.
your like house guest. You know, these characters like live with you in your
It's also
home.
the only way that I understood or experienced outside like American regular people life. Like
Hello?
there's so much cultural information that I ingested
Yes.
from book and TV. Like because it's not like I
Yes.
was going anywhere. Where we're going.
Yeah, and how often did you go to the movies? Like once a month,
Yes.
maybe.
And I
If
mean,
you're
like,
rich.
and second run only. You know, you could. This is back in
Yeah.
the time where you could pay with change. You know, and
Yeah,
like,
it's-
thank God. You know, it's like my dad would like pass out drunk, so it's like all this change. But you know, I mean, that's when cash was king, and so like, or change was, you know,
Yeah.
and like, my understanding of American culture is so deeply tied to blocks of programming. And when I tell you, like, I can tell
Yes.
you, like, it's
paired with shows.
yes, it's like
to lead
Dharma and
into
Gred
one another.
into this.
Yes,
Like, truly,
yes.
like, I think about, like, I would work out my week based on what shows were happening, right?
Right.
On what
Like,
day.
Julian, I can't hang out on Thursdays. You know it's Must-See TV. I'll see you on Friday.
After
'Cause I'm too old for
Yeah.
TGIF.
Like, I mean, it is absolutely. I will say that to me as a consumer, to see television return to this thinking, right? Like, it is really satisfying because it's not that, you know, culturally that we don't have this monoculture anymore. You know, our realities feel so TikToked and algorithmed. So, you know, there are words and our language is even different. But now that if we return to actual television, right, and we can share it again, because truly that's like one of my favorite things, like be able to watch something and then go and talk to a teacher about it. Honey, I was like, I have insight. I've been watching so much.
We are helping small talk already.
Yes,
we are assuaging. I honestly think that's why we have much more anxiety in the country, because TV has gone down.
Yes.
If we had more TV, we would have less social anxiety. We have more things to talk about.
When I tell you, like, I was literally talking about this with she's she's like a woman in her 50s, and she was literally saying that, like, I can't watch regular television. And she was like, I literally want to. Yeah. Like, this is something I want to, but I can't. None of the programming blocks make sense.
Channels. Oh.
Right? It's not like I can sit down from 8 to 10 at the end of a day.
And just dig in. Yeah.
Right? No, it has to be like, I
now
can only
gotta
watch.
Go search for something and fucking see what's number 3 on trending on Netflix in the US or whatever the fuck. And
and you're making me choose, and I am just the lady. You, the people at this in the television, should know that you know better than me. Please tell me.
That's why we're in there.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm very excited for it. I think there's something so right about finally, like, starting in, because this sold in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So right when Trump 1.0 was closing,
right,
this sold. And now it's Trump 2.0, and this is about to be on air. So it feels almost like all the work we put into it from the 1.0 and all the stress and the cultural impact that shaped my voice and my show. Although I don't directly talk about Trump, or I don't directly talk about conservatism.
Sure, of course not.
Versus progress. It's just hinted through how characters make jokes and how, exactly. So, like, I will say, timing wise, again, this is a attribute to, like, getting older too, and not being in that phase anymore. If they ordered it in 2020, I don't think I would have had the polish of a writer, of an artist, of someone who has something really not even important, like, really to say.
Right.
You know? Like, I think in 2020 I would have been scraping by as a veneer of an artist. And in 2025,
you're talking about like those big toothy veneers, and now you're going to be the more realistic kind that look good, right? Like no one can tell. Like
the ones that get in Texas.
Yes. Like you don't have to, like,
Texas.
Yes, you know what I mean. You're gonna have to whittle down your tooth. This one you're gonna just like that. The new ones.
It's like, oh, that's an Efron. That's an Efron, brother.
Yes. This is now these are the good veneers. You're gonna get the good veneers. Yeah.
And it's so. This is a crazy thing that I never thought I would say, but like now, 5 years later, like I really have a good sense of myself, and I treasure the fact that it took this long to develop. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
my God,
I'm like thankful for it.
That's like exactly the sort of shit that someone that's successful says. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like the sort of bullshit where you're like, yeah, I'm actually so grateful.
I swear to God,
grateful for this sort of like the journey. And I look back on
No, I know it sounds like that. I know. And I make fun of those people too. I really do. But I can't help but be honest.
Of course.
Looking at the journey now, if they pulled the trigger in 2020, 2021, like I would not have been ready.
No.
I personally.
I think you would have stepped up.
I would have shown up.
Yeah, sure.
But I think I would have devolved into some mess. Like
maybe,
folded under the pressure.
Sure.
Self-sabotage. Treat others horribly. Stuff that like I would maybe do even now, but like I have a way better awareness of self. And like you even said, like we talked about Lizzo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like being the boss and having that space and wherewithal to know that you are the boss and you are not a friend.
Yeah.
So you better cover your ass as a business owner and a boss and make sure those boundaries are fucking clear, right? Now I have that constantly ringing in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, I did not have that. I would have been very much like, we're doing it. We're all fucking artists doing, you know, and then who knows what would have transpired in West Hollywood one night or whatever. You know, like, I don't know. I don't want to like make up cancellations that didn't happen, but
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm like, what?
I'm just saying, like a 2020, 2021 PK, Peter Kim, I can see devolving into that. Whereas a 2025 42-year-old who's gone through multiple strikes, fires,
Yeah.
a pandemic, you know, the whole thing, like raising 2 dogs, establishing like a community and family out here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just way more stable now.
You've built more things. You've created
Yes.
more stuff.
I
So
failed way
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. And
times.
doing a bunch of other stuff. So of course there are different lessons. I mean, we are
Yeah.
2 old people that genuinely like recently spoke about how grateful we are for our health. So yeah, we're fucking old. So like to earnestly
That
talk
is a
about
trip. That is a
Yes,
trip.
like,
Yeah.
So yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But just as your friend, I'm gonna stick up for you and say I think you would have shown up in 2020. I think you would have shown up in
Thank you. I appreciate
1996. I think you would have.
Ah,
Like I think it would have. You would have shown up in any sort of capacity because I think it is always within you to do that. I think you would have surprised yourself, and the maturity would have just happened in it earlier, like in like a much more
it would've just
condensed
sped-
period
it
of
would have
time.
sped up.
Yeah. So, I don't
Sure,
think
sure.
that, we can be grateful for the sort of it all transpiring as it did, but I don't think we should, we can still be angry that it took this long. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that we all remember that we can still begrudge
We
and
could
be
still,
angry.
we could still be petty.
No matter how good the news, don't forget, guys, you can
Yeah.
still be petty.
Yeah.
Peter Thiel Kim.
Peter Thiel Kim. Ew! Name of app. Okay, that's gonna do it for us this happy inauguration.
Oh my
You
Bye.
know what? Stay true, stay blue, and we'll come back to you.
Oh my
Love
God.
you. Bye.
Bye.